is Friday, December 5, 2014, the 339th day of the year. There are 26 days remaining until the end of 2014. On this day in 1945, Flight 19 is lost in the Bermuda Triangle. The base of your triangle, más o menos equilateral, so it's random. You decide. Draw a line from Miami to Puerto Rico, 1,014.7 miles. Then for your rate ascension, draw another line northward to Bermuda. That's 981.12 miles, where you get your apex. From there, draw a third line southwesterly back to Miami. Another 1,036.36 miles. Hey, it's a triangle. Legendary, man. Also known as the Devil's Triangle, thought to swallow up not only ocean-going vessels, but aircraft too, such as Flight 19, 5 Grumman TBF Avenger torpedo bombers powered by General Motors. In use from 1942 at the Battle of Midway until the 1960s. A workhorse, Chevrolet of the air. They build about 10,000 of these. On a training mission out of Naval Station Fort Lauderdale on this day in 1945, 5 airplanes vanish without a trace. All 14 airmen on board lost. The Navy investigates. You can never assume a damn thing in the Navy, mister. Posits disoriented pilots become lost within the triangle, run out of fuel, ditch in a tumultuous sea. But is that what actually happened? Or was it supernatural? A paranormal event. Navy, officially on record rejecting weirdness in the triangle, as is the Coast Guard, citing records showing shipwrecks and loss of life about equal anywhere in the world. Navy's perhaps a little touchy on the subject. Largest loss of life aboard a U.S. Navy vessel not in combat occurs March 1918. The collier, USS Cyclops, carrying a full load of magnesium ore and 1 bum engine. After departing port in Barbados, goes missing. Crew of 309 disappears without a trace. Some theories lay blame on tropical storm activity. Some say overcrowded ore carrier transport capsizes. Some say it's taken out by a German U-boat. 2 of Cyclops' sister ships, Proteus and Nereus, likewise mysteriously carrying heavy loads of metallic ore, disappear. Nereus in the Triangle, December 1941. Proteus a month earlier, November 1941. In the North Atlantic, far from Bermuda. The cause officially written off as U-boat targets or structural failure exacerbated by the carriage of much denser cargo than design provides for. Or was it? We don't know. Abduction and confiscation by vastly superior ruthless beings from another universe looking to slake their bottomless hunger for energy-rich fuel. You be the judge. Soon after takeoff, Flight 19 patrol leader, U.S. Navy Reserve Lieutenant Charles Carroll Chuck Taylor. His compass fails. He decides to fly by dead reckoning, by pilotage. But he appears to mistake the Bahamas for the Florida Keys. The result being that all 5 TBF Avengers fly on until they run out of fuel. Search and rescue mission launched, and one of those rescue planes and its crew goes down in the triangle. No survivors. Another accident? Or could it be supranational design? On this day in 1982, a soil sample taken from the resort town of Times Beach, Missouri, will be found to contain 300 times the safe level of dioxin, a probable carcinogen, although various other effects of which will kill you long before the cancer does. The 23 miles of road leading into and out of Times Beach, not far from St. Louis, you can't find it on a map anymore, a community on the Merrimack River, dusty in the hot season, and the town of no more than 2,000 residents, more who camp on the river in summer, can't afford to repave. So in 1971, town leaders hire waste hauler Russell Bliss to keep them roads oiled. Problem occurs from 1972 to 1976 when Bliss works a contract to haul away waste from Northeastern Pharmaceutical and Chemical, a plant that previously is site of manufacture for Agent Orange, of which some millions of gallons are used to defoliate the Vietnamese jungles. All the better to target enemy combatants during airstrikes. Long story short, Bliss doesn't make any money, can't unload that PCB-contaminated waste oil anywhere without losing money, so he decides to kill 2 birds and uses his Agent Orange-laced waste oil not only on Times Beach roads, also around horse stables, another notoriously dusty area. Well, a whole lot more than 2 birds get killed. Right away, they start falling out of trees, dead, en masse. And when townspeople, kids, and old folks first begin to display gruesome symptoms and livestock dies off in short order, town's got a major problem. Times Beach evacuated at the end of December 1982, when a flood pretty much evenly distributes the chemistry throughout the place. EPA subsequently hauls off 240,000 tons of contaminated soil and debris from demolished buildings, which they incinerate on the site of the former Syntex chemical plant, so as to globally distribute the noxious mess via the jet stream. Cost $110 million 1980s tax dollars. Russell Bliss, never convicted of spraying the dioxin, poisoning the town, the animals, the residents, creating his own private cancer cluster, does a year in jail for tax fraud. pretty much a ghost town nowadays, but there's a nice park you can visit right there on old Route 66, America's Mother Road. The visitor center at the park, former Times Beach Roadhouse and later 1980s EPA headquarters, is the only remaining building from the old days. Picnic tables there for a nice luncheon under the trees and the great outdoors, pet-friendly, plenty of parking. Novelist Cormac McCarthy writes, "Once there were brook trout in the streams in the mountains. You could see them standing in the amber current where the white edges of their fins wimpled softly in the flow. They smelled of moss in your hand, polished and muscular and torsional. On their backs were vermiculate patterns that were maps of the world in its becoming. Maps and mazes of a thing which could not be put back, not be made right again. In the deep glens where they lived, all things were older than man, and they hummed of mystery." From Rutland, Vermont, this is Richard Alcott speaking.